I thought I was prepared for anything my life could throw at me. I've navigated career changes, managed a messy divorce, and raised a successful son. But nothing, and I mean nothing could have prepared me for the casual cruelty in my own son's voice when he said, with a smirk of pure satisfaction, my wife put him in his place, so he finally shut up. He was talking about my younger brother Leo, his uncle, the man who had practically raised him. The air went out of my lungs. That moment, sitting across from him in a restaurant that suddenly felt like a cage, I saw my son not as the man I raised, but as a stranger. A cold, dismissive stranger. I had to make a choice then and there about family, loyalty, and silence. Tell me honestly, if your own child betrayed the person you cherished most, would you have done what I did next? Let me take you back, because this story isn't about a single argument. It's about 2 decades of history, love, and a dangerous new influence. I am Clara, and Leo is my brother, my rock. There are 10 years between us. When I got pregnant with my son, Ethan, at 22, I was terrified. His father, Mark, was still finishing his degree and was, frankly, useless. Leo, just 12 at the time, was the one who stepped up. He'd sit by my side, reading baby books, rubbing my swollen feet. When Ethan was born, Leo was the most involved uncle you could imagine. Mark checked out completely by the time Ethan was 5, leaving me as a single mother juggling a full-time job. Leo became Ethan's male figure. He taught him how to ride a bike, helped him with impossible math homework, and never missed a single school play, even when he had to skip his own college classes. They had an unbreakable bond, a secret handshake, inside jokes, and a mutual obsession with classic sci-fi movies. Leo wasn't just an uncle. He was a co-parent, a mentor, and the most consistent source of unconditional love Ethan ever had. Life continued, and Ethan grew into a smart, driven, if slightly reserved, young man. Leo finished school, became a high school teacher, a job he adored, and remained a fixture in our lives. Our family dynamic was tight. Me, Ethan, and Leo. We had Sunday dinners religiously, took joint vacations, and celebrated everything together. Then Ethan met Sarah in college. Sarah was beautiful, polished, and came from what you might politely call old money. She was charming on the surface, incredibly articulate, and seemed to adore Ethan. I was happy for him. My little family was expanding. The first subtle shifts began right after the wedding, about 3 years ago. Sarah, ever so gently, started putting distance between Ethan and us. It was always framed as an adult decision. We can't do Sunday dinner, Clara. We need to establish our own traditions. Or Leo is sweet, but his job teaching history just isn't very ambitious, is it, Ethan? At first, I dismissed it as her finding her footing as a wife. But the criticisms became sharper, more pointed, always aimed at Leo's lifestyle. Leo, who lived simply, dedicating his life to teaching kids and coaching the debate team, was deemed stuck, provincial, and worst of all, financially insignificant, by Sarah's standards. Ethan, slowly but surely, started absorbing her perspective. Where he once admired Leo's passion for his work, he now saw a dead-end job. Where he once respected Leo's humble apartment, he now saw a lack of aspiration. The way Ethan looked at Leo started to change. The adoration was replaced by a kind of condescending pity. It was heartbreaking to watch. Our Sunday dinners dwindled to monthly, then to quarterly. Leo noticed too, of course, but he's too good-natured to complain. He'd just say, "Ethan's busy building his new life, Clara, it's natural." But I knew the truth. Sarah was systematically isolating my son from the man who was his true father figure. The climax of this silent, creeping alienation happened a few weeks ago at a joint birthday party for Sarah's father. It was an extravagant affair, dripping in designer clothes and casual wealth. Leo and I, being the outsiders, stuck close together. Leo, bless him, tried to engage Sarah's father, a successful but rather pompous lawyer, in a conversation about local high school policy. The lawyer was clearly bored, but Leo, passionate about education, kept pressing his point about underfunding. He wasn't loud or rude, just enthusiastic. Sarah, who was hovering nearby, took extreme offense. She marched over, her voice icy, and interrupted Leo mid-sentence. "Leo!" She cut him off, a false smile plastered on her face. "It's charming that you care so much about school budgets, but actual professionals are discussing real estate. Why don't you go grab a canapé?" It was a deliberate, public dismissal, a calculated insult designed to shrink him. Leo, always sensitive, immediately flushed and retreated. He didn't say a word to anyone for the rest of the evening, and neither did I, because I was so stunned. I was paralyzed by the shock of witnessing such blatant disrespect directed at my gentle brother. Ethan was standing right there. He saw it all, and he did nothing. He just gave Sarah a small, approving nod, a silent acknowledgement of her power move. I didn't say anything at the party. I was too shocked to protect Leo, a failure I deeply regretted. I saw Leo home later that night. He played it off as nothing, but when he thought I wasn't looking, I saw him wipe away a tear. It was the deepest wound. I knew I had to talk to Ethan, and a few days later, I cornered him for lunch. The whole lunch was me dancing around the issue, trying to get him to see the severity of what happened, how cruel Sarah had been. I recounted everything Leo did for him as a child, the debt of gratitude he owed. That's when Ethan finally leaned back, took a smug sip of his water, and dropped the bomb. Look, Mom, Leo was being embarrassing. He was droning on about budgets to the CEO of a property firm. Sarah handled it. She put him in his place so he'd finally shut up. It was uncomfortable, and she ended it. The casual dismissiveness, the pride in his wife's cruelty. It hit me like a physical blow. The phrase put him in his place, echoed in my skull. My kind, loving son had been replaced by a callous echo of his materialistic wife. So that's the situation I was in. My brother, my lifelong confidant and my son's true father figure, had been publicly humiliated by my daughter-in-law and my son. The boy I raised had not only allowed it, but was proud of it. I was sitting there, looking at my own flesh and blood, knowing that if I stayed silent, I was implicitly supporting the systematic erasure of Leo from our lives. Before I tell you what I did next, the action I took that changed my relationship with my son forever, I want you to pause right now and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have calmly tried to talk sense into him? Would you have cut him off completely? Or would you have found a way to make him truly understand the gravity of his betrayal? I looked at Ethan across that table, and I didn't see my son. I saw a co-conspirator in an act of emotional violence against the kindest man I knew. My voice, when I finally spoke, was dangerously quiet. "Ethan," I began, my hands flat on the table, "I want you to hear every single word I am about to say. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I was measured, cold, and final. I didn't try to reason with him. I went straight for the one thing I knew he would feel. Consequence. I reminded him of every late night Leo spent helping him study, every trip Leo paid for when I was broke, every time Leo defended him from his useless father, Mark. I detailed the depth of Leo's loyalty, painting a picture of a man who was always there, asking for nothing. Then, I delivered the climax. You just admitted you think your wife was right to humiliate Leo for daring to talk about his work, for being who he is, and you were proud she put him in his place. Well, I am now putting you in yours. Ethan's smug expression wavered, replaced by confusion. What are you talking about, Mom? Don't be dramatic. I stood up slowly. I am cutting off every single bridge I built for you. Ethan, despite his lucrative job, still relied heavily on several of my resources, luxuries he enjoyed without thinking. The trust fund I set up for you last Christmas, the one you and Sarah were planning to use for your second home, it's gone. I'm redirecting it to the debate team scholarship fund in Leo's name. The contacts I gave you in my industry that helped you land your promotion, I am personally calling every single one of them. They will know exactly how you treat family, and they will know that your character is compromised by your wife's malice. His jaw dropped. He finally understood this wasn't just a spat. This was financial and professional demolition. Mom, you can't be serious. This is insane. He pleaded, his voice rising in panic. It's not insane, Ethan. I said, looking him straight in the eye, it's a consequence. You broke a sacred oath of loyalty to a man who sacrificed his own life for yours. You chose Sarah's materialism and spite over decency and family. Now, you get the price tag that comes with that choice. I didn't wait for his reply. I walked out of that restaurant, and within 48 hours, I executed every single threat. It was brutal, emotionally draining, and terrifyingly efficient. I called my lawyers and had the trust fund irrevocably changed to a charity, the Leo Jensen High School Education Fund ***. I then made the difficult calls to my professional contacts, framing it not as petty revenge, but as a severe lapse in judgment and character. I didn't lie. I simply stated that Ethan had shown profound disloyalty and a disturbing lack of respect toward a devoted family member, and that I could no longer vouch for his integrity. The whispers spread quickly in that exclusive circle, and 2 weeks later, Ethan called me, his voice broken. He hadn't been fired, but the promotion he was banking on had gone to someone else, and his prospects had suddenly gone cold. The second home was off the table. The aftermath was exactly what I had feared and simultaneously what I needed. Ethan and Sarah lashed out. Sarah sent me a torrent of vile, accusatory texts, calling me a spiteful, jealous old woman, accusing me of ruining their life out of envy. Ethan, on the phone, tried every tactic: guilt, anger, and finally, feigned repentance. He told me I had chosen Leo over my own son. You are damn right I did. I told him calmly, because Leo is a good man. You chose a snob over a man who loved you. I am simply recognizing the consequences of your choices. I told him I needed space and hung up. Leo, when I finally explained everything to him, was devastated not for himself, but for me. He begged me not to ruin Ethan's life, but I stood firm. It wasn't about revenge. It was about drawing a line in the sand, a moral boundary I could not allow to be crossed. I told Leo I didn't do it for him, but for my own integrity, and to show Ethan that decency has a price. It's been 6 months now. Ethan and I are in a low-contact phase. He sends strained, formal texts, mostly about logistics, never about reconciliation. He hasn't apologized to Leo, not genuinely. Sarah has managed to isolate him further, convincing him I'm the villain. But my life with Leo is stronger than ever. The Leo Jensen Fund has already paid for 3 students' college textbooks. Leo and I still have Sunday dinners, just the 2 of us, like the old days. I mourn the loss of the son I raised, but I cherish the brother I protected. I know what I did was extreme. I traded financial comfort and an easy relationship with my son for my moral center and my brother's dignity. It was the hardest decision of my life, but I regret nothing. I realized that day that family isn't just blood. It's the person who shows up, time and time again, with unconditional love, and that person deserved my defense. I saved my own soul, even if I lost my son to his own pride. So, that's the whole mess. I had to choose between my blood, son's comfort, and my brother's honor. I chose honor. Like this video if you were on my side, and think I was right to draw such a harsh line. Subscribe for more true stories about family betrayals and tough choices. And please, share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section below. Did I go too far? Or was this the only way to teach my son a brutal lesson about loyalty? I'll see you all in the next story.